I know exactly where you are right now. You're sitting there, maybe staring at a blank screen, your chest tight, replaying every single conversation in your head. You're looking for the glitch. You're asking yourself, where did I mess up? What did I say wrong? Because just a few days ago, it felt like magic. You felt seen, you felt a connection that you haven't felt in years. The chemistry wasn't just good, it was electric. It felt like you finally found home. And then silence, coldness. She pulled away as if you were a stranger. And that shift, it's gut-wrenching. It leaves you feeling hollow. Before we go any further, I need you to take a breath. Subscribe to the channel right now, because we aren't just talking about dating tips today. We are going to heal that confusion in your heart by uncovering the painful truth of human psychology. Lock in. Let's talk about the tragedy of what is actually happening inside her. When a woman pushes you away, right when the love feels deepest, it's not because she doesn't feel it, it's because she feels it too much. We call this the biological panic switch. Imagine you've been burned by fire your whole life. Every time you felt warmth, it was followed by a third-degree burn. Now you come along, you are warm, you are kind, but her subconscious mind doesn't scream love, then it screams danger. When she starts falling for you, her brain is flooded with fear. Not the fear of you, but the terrifying fear of loss. She isn't running from you, she is running from the potential heartbreak that you represent. She is terrified that if she lets you in all the way, you will have the power to destroy her completely. You have to understand the heartbreak of the safety paradox. You are giving her everything she ever asked for: safety, consistency, loyalty. But for a woman who carries the scars of past trauma, safety feels foreign. It feels unsettling. In her world, chaos is familiar. Toxicity is predictable. So when you offer her pure, unconditional love, it feels too good to be true. Her mind starts whispering dark thoughts. He's going to leave just like the rest. Or he's pretending to be nice until he gets what he wants. It's a tragic defense mechanism. She pushes you away to protect her heart from a pain she thinks is inevitable. She is rejecting you now so she doesn't have to mourn you later. It's twisted, it's sad, but it's her reality. This brings us to the most painful realization: the fear of vulnerability. Think about what it really means to fall in love. It means handing someone a loaded gun, pointing it at your heart, and trusting them not to pull the trigger. That is terrifying. When she realizes how much she wants you, she realizes how much power she has given you. And that loss of control makes her panic. She starts creating distance, picking fights, ignoring texts, acting cold. Not because she hates you, but because she needs to feel like she is in control of her own feelings again. She is drowning in emotion, and pushing you away is her way of gasping for air. And here is where you make it worse, unintentionally. I know your instinct. You love her. You want to fix it. You want to hold her tight and say, I'm not going anywhere. So you chase, you call, you pour your heart out. But brother, listen to me. When you do that during her panic, you are suffocating her. You are validating her fear that she is losing her freedom. It hurts. I know it hurts to stand back when the person you love is drifting away. But you have to be strong enough to let the silence exist. If you crumble, if you beg, if you lose your dignity, you aren't proving your love. You are proving you can't handle the weight of her storm. You have to be the rock that stands still, even when the waves are crashing against you. Let's go deeper into the psychology of engulfment. This is something you won't hear on those generic dating channels. A woman who is high value, who has her own life, her own career, her own hustle, she's terrified of losing herself in a relationship. We call this the fear of engulfment. When she starts falling for you, her schedule starts revolving around you. Her thoughts are consumed by you. She stops focusing on her grind as much. And suddenly she wakes up one morning and feels like she's drowning. She feels like she's losing her edge. This isn't about you being a bad guy. It's about her feeling like her independence is being hijacked by her emotions. So what does she do? She cuts the cord. She pushes you away to gasp for air. She needs to prove to herself that she doesn't need you. This is a critical phase. If you don't understand this, you will take it personally. You'll think, she doesn't like me anymore. No, bro, she likes you too much, and it's messing with her baseline. She's trying to recalibrate. If you are the type of guy who has no life outside of her, you're going to make this 10 times worse. If you're sitting around waiting for her text, you're suffocating her even from a distance. She can feel that energy. It's heavy, it's needy. Women have a sixth sense for desperation, even if you don't say it. If you are emotionally dependent on her validation, she will feel the weight of it and she will run. She pushes you away because she needs a man who is a solid rock, not a man who uses her as his emotional life support. Think about the concept of merger anxiety. In the beginning, the merger is fun. It's the honeymoon phase. But once that initial high wears off, the reality sets in. She looks at you and thinks, if I commit to this guy, do I have to give up my freedom? Do I have to answer to him? Do I have to deal with his insecurity? If she pushes you away, she is unconsciously asking for space to miss you. You have to let her miss you. Absence makes the heart grow fonder, but presence, too much presence, makes the heart grow resentful. You need to be willing to walk away. You need to be willing to let the silence hang in the air. If you try to fill that silence with nervous chatter or double texting, you are killing the attraction instantly. Also, consider the imposter syndrome in relationships. If she has low self-esteem deep down, and a lot of baddies do, despite what their Instagram says, she might feel like she's tricking you. She thinks, if he really knew me, the messy version of me, he wouldn't love me. So before you can figure that out, she pushes you away. It's a preemptive strike. She rejects you before you can reject her. It's twisted, yeah, but it's human nature. She's trying to control the narrative. She wants to be the one who walked away, not the one who got left. It's an ego protection racket. And if you're subscribed to this channel, you know we don't play those games. We see through them. Speaking of which, if you haven't hit subscribe yet, do it. We are breaking down the code that governs human behavior, and you don't want to be the guy left in the dark. Now we have to talk about the boredom of stability. This is a hard pill to swallow for a lot of good men. If she grew up in a chaotic home, or if her ex was a toxic narcissist who put her on an emotional roller coaster, her brain is wired to associate love with anxiety. Chaos feels like home to her. Peace feels boring. When you come along, stable, consistent, loving, her nervous system literally doesn't know how to process it. It feels flat. There's no drama, there's no fighting, there's no making up. And because there's no adrenaline spike from the drama, she mistakes that lack of anxiety for a lack of chemistry. She thinks, I don't feel that spark. But what she's really missing is the trauma bond. She pushes you away to create chaos. She might start an argument out of thin air just to feel something intense. She pushes you away because she is addicted to the chase, not the catch. When she has you, when she knows you are 100% committed, the game is over. The dopamine hit of will he, won't he, is gone. For a woman who hasn't done the inner work, this stability is terrifyingly dull. She will sabotage it just to see if you have a backbone. She wants to know if you are capable of walking away. This is the ultimate test of a high-value male. A high-value man knows his worth. If she starts acting cold, he doesn't beg. He mirrors her energy. If she pulls back, he steps back. He focuses on his mission, his money, his body. He shows her that while he wants her, he doesn't need her to survive. That attitude, that is the antidote to her pulling away. Let's get into the deservingness gap. Sometimes, a woman pushes you away because she genuinely feels she isn't on your level yet. Maybe you're killing it in life, you're disciplined, your emotional maturity is high, and she's sitting there with her unresolved baggage, her debt, her family drama. She looks at you and sees a mirror reflecting her own inadequacies. It's painful for her to be around you because you remind her of what she isn't. So she creates distance to stop feeling judged. She projects that judgment onto you. She'll say things like, you think you're better than everyone, or you're too controlling. But really, she's projecting her own insecurity. She pushes you away because she needs to fix herself, but she doesn't know how to communicate that without sounding weak. You have to understand that confusion often manifests as aggression or coldness. When a woman is confused about her feelings, she rarely says, hey, I am confused, give me a minute. No, she shuts down, she ghosts, she gives you one-word answers, she's waiting for you to lead. But leading doesn't mean forcing. Leading means holding the frame. Imagine you are the ocean and she is the boat. The boat is rocking, the storm is hitting, she's panicking. If the ocean starts panicking too, everyone drowns. You have to be the calm water underneath. You have to be the unshakable force. When she pushes, you don't push back and you don't pull. You stand your ground. You say, I'm right here. When you're ready to talk, let me know. And then you go about your business. You don't sit by the phone. That indifference, that controlled indifference, is the most attractive trait you can possess in this situation. Let's pivot to something practical. Timing. You might be the right guy, but you showed up at the absolute worst time in her life. She might be drowning in career stress, dealing with family trauma, or fresh out of a wreckage situation with an ex. When her life is chaotic, a high-value relationship feels like another massive responsibility she has to manage. It doesn't feel like a relief, it feels like pressure. She knows that if she starts something real with you, she has to show up correctly. She has to be emotionally available, and right now she doesn't have the bandwidth. So she pushes you away to protect you from her mess and to protect herself from failing you. It's easier to reject you now than to disappoint you later. If you sense this is the case, the worst thing you can do is pressure her for time. You have to be the guy who gets it. You give her space without punishing her for taking it. Now, we have to address the concept of self-sabotage through the sudden ick. You've seen this. Everything is perfect. You're connecting deeply, and then suddenly she fixates on something stupid. The way you chew, a pair of shoes you wore, a minor grammatical error in a text. Suddenly she's grossed out. This is crazy, right? Wrong. It's a defense mechanism. When intimacy gets too intense, her subconscious mind hits the panic button. It starts actively scanning for flaws to devalue you. It's trying to knock you off the pedestal to reduce the anxiety of liking you so much. If she can convince herself you're cringe, she doesn't have to worry about losing you. It's a pathetic way her brain tries to regain control. Do not try to argue logic with the ick. You just have to outlast it by remaining totally unbothered. You also have to understand the fear of future faking, not you doing it, but her fear of it happening to her again. She's been sold dreams before by guys who talked a big game and then bounced when things got real. When you start talking about the future, even subtly, it triggers her PTSD from past disappointments. She wants you, yes, but the terror of getting her hopes up again is stronger than her desire for connection. She pushes you away to lower her own expectations. It's a preemptive grieving process. She's mourning the end of the relationship before it even really begins because she is convinced everything good must end badly. If you're finding this deep psychological breakdown valuable, make sure you are subscribed. We are the only channel giving you the raw playbook without the sugarcoating. Lock it in. Listen, sometimes she pushes you away because she recognizes that falling for you means changing her entire life trajectory. You are a disruptive force. If she lets you in, she might have to confront the fact that her current friends are low vibe, her job is dead end, or her lifestyle is unhealthy. You represent a higher standard, and that mirror is uncomfortable to look into. She wants you, but she doesn't want the work that comes with being worthy of you. So she retreats to what is familiar, even if it's mediocre. She pushes you away, because staying the same is easier than leveling up to meet you there. We are moving into the deepest waters now, the ultimate structure test. A woman who wants you most will often give you the hardest time. Why? Because she needs to know if you are unbreakable. Mother Nature programmed women to seek strong protectors. In the modern world, that doesn't just mean physical strength, it means emotional fortitude. She needs to know, if I show him my crazy side, my bitchy side, my insecure side, will he crumble? Will he get emotional? Will he turn abusive? Or will he stand steadfast? She pushes you away, she starts drama, she acts cold, all to vibe check your nervous system. She is literally testing the structural integrity of your frame. Most men fail this test miserably. They fail because they take her behavior personally. They get defensive, they get angry, or they get super needy and apologetic. The moment you react emotionally to her tests, you fail. You proved you are not the rock. You proved your emotional state is dependent on her validation. When she pushes, she is secretly praying you don't move. She wants you to look at her chaos with total calmness and not flinch. That doesn't mean you tolerate disrespect, but it means your internal world is not shaken by her external storms. When she realizes she can't rattle you, that's when true submission and deep attraction happen. Another major reason she pushes you away when she wants you is simply overwhelmed emotional capacity. Imagine her emotional state is a cup. Between work, life, social media pressure, and her own internal monologue, that cup is already 95% full on a daily basis. Then you come along and you pour in this intense, heavy emotion called love and desire. The cup overflows. She physically cannot process any more stimulation. It's emotional burnout. She pushes you away, not because she doesn't want the water, but because the cup is full. She needs to empty some of that stress out before she can handle what you are offering. If you keep trying to pour more affection into a full cup, you are just making a mess. Finally, consider the mirroring of unavailable attachment. If she has a history of chasing emotionally unavailable men, her brain is wired to associate love with longing. When you become available, when you stop running, the dynamic breaks. She doesn't know how to exist in a secure connection. It feels alien. So unconsciously, when she feels herself wanting you too much, she becomes the unavailable one. She flips the script. She runs so that you will chase, because the chase is the only dynamic she recognizes as passion. It's toxic, it's dysfunctional, but it's real. You break this by refusing to chase. You stay put. You force her to confront the stillness of a secure dynamic. So she pushed you away. She went cold. She hit the panic button. The diagnostic part is over. Now we talk strategy. This is where the rubber meets the road. Most men destroy their chances right here because they react with their ego or their anxiety. They try to fix it. Listen to me, there is nothing to fix. The relationship isn't broken, it's paused. If you try to force a paused game to keep running, you crash the system. The first rule of engagement when a woman pulls away is simple. Do nothing. I don't mean sit on the couch and rot. I mean do nothing directed at her. You do not text. You do not ask what's wrong. You do not double tap her stories. You go radio silent. You mirror her investment. If she gives you 10% effort, you give 10%. If she gives you 0, you give 0. This isn't a game. It's basic economics. You do not subsidize bad behavior with your attention. You have to master the art of the warm withdrawal. This is where you separate yourself from the boys. When she pulls back, you don't get angry or bitter. You don't block her. That's emotional reaction. You simply pivot your focus back to your mission. You act unbothered when she eventually reaches out. And if she wants you, she will. You treat her like nothing happened. You are warm, you are polite, but you are not eager. You don't jump when she says jump. This signals to her subconscious that her pulling away did not damage you. It didn't make you insecure. That realization is what breaks her fear. She sees you as a stable entity that exists with or without her. That is the most attractive vibration a man can hold. Let's talk about the abundance mindset shift. The reason you feel panic when she pulls away is because you are operating from scarcity. You think she's the only unicorn in the world. That fear smells like desperation, and she can smell it from miles away. You need to genuinely internalize that you are the prize. If she's not ready to handle a man of your caliber, that is a tragic loss for her, not for you. You need to occupy your time so aggressively with your purpose, your gym routine, your business, and your friends that you literally do not have time to stress about her silence. When she realizes that her absence didn't stop your movie, she will want a ticket back into the theater. You must avoid the validation trap. A lot of you guys will post thirst traps or sad quotes on your story hoping she sees it. Stop that. It's weak. It's embarrassing. Never use social media to communicate your feelings indirectly. If you are posting things specifically for her to see, you are still chasing her. Real power is silence. Real power is posting your wins, your progress, and your life because you are proud of them, not because you want a reaction from her. If she comes back to a king who is building his empire, not a jester who is crying in the courtyard. Maintain your frame at all costs. We are at the end of the line here. Let's zoom out and look at the big picture. Why did we spend over an hour breaking this down? Because understanding female psychology is actually about understanding yourself. When a woman pushes you away, she's holding up a mirror to your own insecurities. If you crumble, you have work to do. If you chase, you have work to do. This entire dynamic is a test from the universe to see if you are centered in your own masculinity. A woman's love is fluid. It moves like water. It crashes, it recedes, it flows. You cannot catch water by clenching your fist. You catch it by being a solid vessel. You have to be the container that can handle the flow without breaking. The harsh truth is this. Sometimes she pushes you away because she knows she can't meet you there. And you have to be okay with that. You cannot save her from her own trauma. You cannot love her into being ready. If you follow everything in this script, you give her space, you maintain your frame, you focus on your purpose, and she still doesn't come back, then she did you a favor. She cleared the space for a woman who is actually ready for a high-value man. Do not romanticize a woman who is not choosing you. Attraction is not a negotiation. Desire is not a logical argument. It is either there or it isn't. And it grows in the space between you, not in the suffocation of your neediness. Your final takeaway is this: be willing to walk away. That is your superpower. The man who is willing to walk away holds all the leverage, not in a manipulative way, but in a self-respecting way. When she feels that you are capable of leaving if your standards aren't met, she will fight to keep you. If she feels you are trapped by your own obsession, she will lose respect for you. And a woman cannot love a man she does not respect. It is biologically impossible. So keep your head high. Keep your standards higher. Let her figure out her own chaos. You stay in your peace. Listen, we just dropped a masterclass on human dynamics that people pay thousands of dollars for in seminars. If you sat through this whole thing, you are the top 1% who is actually serious about leveling up. Don't just listen to this and go back to scrolling. Apply it. Change your behavior today. If this script gave you even one moment of clarity, you owe it to yourself to subscribe to the channel. We are building a brotherhood of men who understand the game and play to win. Hit that like button to feed the algorithm. Hit subscribe to feed your mind. Until next time, stay sharp, stay dangerous. Out.